My name is Marianne Ribert. I've been a program director at IE for 18 years, almost. My sister once told me that energy-wise or mental health-wise, we have our principle, and then that we shouldn't touch, and then we live off the interest. And if you start touching the principle, that's when you get into trouble. Looking back, I realized that I had been taking out of my principle for quite some time, as in years. Taking a little bit out, putting something back, but living very close to the limit. But I'm a single mom, and I'm in charge of a team, and this is a single economy household. People depend on me. I don't have the luxury of breaking down. So time passes. This is now January 2022, and I'm dragging. I'm just so tired. I had COVID the month before, and I convinced myself that it could be a long-term effect of that. So I decided to go to the doctors to get blood tests done to see how my iron is doing. The lies we tell ourselves. And I get to the doctor's office, and this very nice lady that I had never seen before very kindly asks me, "So, what brings you here today?" And I open my mouth to say, "Blood tests." And I just can't, because I know it's not true. So instead, I have my big bad breakdown right there in her office, to the surprise of both of us. The diagnosis is anxiety and depression. At the core, it's stress and burnout. So the doctor prescribes me some medication, and I have a really hard time accepting that. My social conditioning, I think it is, kicks in, and I just really do not want to. For some reason, I think that if I start taking medication for this, it's worse. I don't know. So she says to me, "If you were having an asthma attack or an asthma crisis, would you take medication until your condition was under control?" No? So I take my prescription, I leave the office. I go to the car, and the first call is to my sister, who tells me about mental finance. And then I drive home, and my next call is to my boss. She had been my friend for a lot of years, for a very long time before this, but she'd only been my boss for 6 months at this point. And she is my boss 100% through that very messy, on my side, phone call. She completely takes over. I'm clearly not in a position to make any decisions, but she is. And she is kind but firm. She says, "I don't want you back until you're well enough. You have one job now, get well, and we will take care of the rest." And she does. She and the team creates this airtight space for me where nothing filters through. I don't talk about work at all until I'm back in September. Not even with her, and not even when I ask. I take my doctor's advice to heart, and I go all in. I take my meds, I get a therapist through an app, searching for availability and proximity, and somehow that works. And it has been really, really hard work. My therapist will tell you that I don't get from A to B in a straight line, But I always go into this knowing that this is my one job, getting better, and I need help for it. So I take all my sessions as what it is, work. And it has been hard work. It has also been very rewarding. There's been a lot of growth potential in there. And I'm very proud of where I am today. Work-wise, I have been at IE for more than 15 years at this point. All my professors and a big chunk of my alumni have my personal phone number. I can't just drop off the face of the earth for 6 months and then come back and pretend that didn't happen. At least I can't. So once again, I cling to the words of the doctor, and I decide that I will be honest about why I've been away. And that decision was fairly easy to take in the comfort of my own home. And it was a little bit more scary to actually carry out. But I am very privileged. I have great friends. I have a great support system from colleagues, from staff, from students, professors, everyone. So I wouldn't recommend a breakdown to anyone. It is not fun. But if I had been in a car accident and I'd broken 17 bones in my body, that would have been equally not fun. But somehow the conversation around it would have been easier, and that's not okay. So this is what I can do. I can tell my story so that we can open a conversation about this. I know 2 very impressive women, capable, professional, very smart. And they've been where I have been. And when I was facing my challenge, I looked to them for inspiration and for support. And knowing that they had been where I was and gotten out to the other side was very inspirational for me and very important. So I think I owe it to them, to their bravery, to pay this forward in the way that I can. And I worked very hard to be where I am. I am still working on it. But I'm also very, very aware that this is not a one-woman show. So this is my thank you to my village. And it's also an offer and an invitation for anyone who sees this to be the village of the next person. Esa es la historia de mi vida.